We'll start running everything through your schedule now. I mean, that's Nate's fault.
Every year it's been in September. I plan to get it in August.
Yeah, well, even Bruce needs a vacation. All right, guys, let's do this.
How have these first few practices, now that you have the entire team together, looked? So
Good. I mean, good. It's we feel like we're getting ready for a long journey. It's a great group of guys. It's been a lot of fun. We're still, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the build looks like. So I just feel like it's so early. I mean, I don't want to come out and say a bunch of superlatives and all these amazing things because we know how hard it's going to be. But I feel like we got a lot of great pieces, and I think the initial parts of our culture build have been positive, and I mean, I feel like this is a team that's going to be built for all the challenges that are in front of it.
when we last talked to you, and you had said that eventually there was going to need to be a year where, with all the COVID guys going out, you'd have to kind of skew young. Did it change the way you've approached this offseason in terms of the workouts and all that because you have so many first-year college guys?
I don't know if change per se, not wholesale changes. I think we're going to see we have a number of freshmen that are that are ready to play. So I mean, we're gonna put the best players out that we can, no matter what year in school they are. We had a great freshman group that I'm really excited about, and I think they got a real maturity about them. Physically, I think they're also ready. So I'm looking forward to for them to kind of start these battles, and we'll obviously adjust and grow as we go through them. But it's been a ton of fun. So, but no major adjustments overall.
Jim said that he didn't really participate in the NBA tryouts and going through that process, that he just came back to work on his game. What have you seen? I know it's a very short time, the benefits of that for him.
For JB? JB looks great. JB is a first-class individual. It's not too often, this day and age where you have a senior point guard that's, been at a school or with a coach for, numerous years. So, I have a real comfort with JB, and I really value, what he brings to our team, on and off the court. I mean, he's going to be, without a doubt in my mind, at the end of the day, one of the best point guards in the country. He's continued to improve his game. He's in all facets. He's a great worker, and he's a great teammate, and maybe he's a guy that's been willing to sacrifice for the greater good of the team, and maybe he's not getting the notoriety or shine that he probably deserves. And for me, I take great comfort knowing that he's our point guard, and and have great confidence that he's one of the best players in the country.
About this freshman, how do you feel about, like, granted they're older freshmen, been through a lot of these guys, but this is a time when college basketball is getting old and everyone's coming back because NIL, et cetera, and do you figure that's going to be a particular challenge to
I mean, I'm not anticipating any more challenges than a normal season. The challenges for us is always going to be in the competition that we're playing is, at the highest level. And that's with great intent that we do that. We feel like we're a program that belongs in that upper echelon of college basketball. That's not to say we don't also, strive to do more and want to take the next step within that upper echelon. So, but I'm not anticipating any problems with youth. I think when our young guys get out on the floor and play, I think that their performance will speak for itself.
When you look at what Mo went through last season and where he is now, what do you think he took away, and where have you seen him kind of grow?
Well, to have a season-ending injury is a lot, for a guy that's really never had a significant injury before. So, Mo has made a lot of progress in a number of areas. I think the thing now is, he's got to kind of prove to himself, how ready he is and how impactful he can be. We're going to continue to encourage him and push him, but I think he's at the point now where the next step probably needs to be doing it under the lights, and then understanding that under the lights is the next step, but then the step after that's probably the most important. Is figuring out what works and what didn't work under the lights, and getting in attack mode and making a significant jump, in a short time span. So, I'm looking forward to that for him. We're kind of ramping him up. He's been a full participant in everything that we've done for a number of months now. So, skill wise, he's there. He's made improvements in certain areas. Now let's get under the lights and let's see what he can do. Because I have no doubt in my mind he can be one of the best big men in the country.
It's been a while since somebody from Tucson has seen regular minutes on the Arizona roster. What does Evan Nelson bring? And this might be tough to answer, but do you see him getting regular minutes this year?
Evan Nelson's, another tremendous human being. Obviously, he grew up, Tucson proud. Loved Arizona basketball. He got an opportunity to go back to Harvard, and he had a good experience there. He graduated, he played, he made an impact, and he got an opportunity to come home. He's been he's really, I just met with him today and just kind of commended him on how he's handled himself and how well he's doing fitting in with our guys, and he competes and fits in without missing a beat. So, as for a specific role, we haven't really taken the next step to hammer those down. But, Evan's going to be on the court. I mean, he's going to get opportunities this year for sure. I mean, I don't see him, not playing at all. So, I'm going to kind of have to figure that out as we go. And he and I actually talked about that today. But I've been really comfortable with the contributions he's been making in practice and the progress he's shown.
I can ask you about, obviously there's a lot of great talented freshmen. Certainly Bryce gets a little bit of buzz because of his last name. But, I'm told he's just one of the guys. What's he like to be around?
I mean, Bryce is a great young man. I actually met with him today as well. And, Bryce, he and I have had great conversations, about, what his expectations are and what his ultimate, dreams and visions are to make sure that there's alignment. And, Bryce is a guy that, his best days are ahead of him. And, we've made a commitment to developing him as a player, and he's made a commitment to put in the work to be developed. So he's great to have around. I mean, it's been really fun watching him kind of, I guess, so to speak, come out of his shell since he's been here. I mean, he fits in. He's one of us. He belongs. And he's a valued member of our team who, I have no doubts in my mind, if he sticks with it, which I have no reason to believe he won't, that he's going to make an impact at Arizona basketball in the future and in the not so distant future.
I don't know if you saw it or but somebody asked LeBron the other day if he was going to wait until Bryce got to the NBA to, stick his, not retire until then or whatever. And I know there's people that expect Bryce is going to start, et cetera, a lot of talk about him. How do you deal with that when it sounds like he's kind of more a developmental long-term guy?
Well, my commitment's to Bryce and helping Bryce run his own race. And that, commitment I've made to him will not be influenced by media or social media. I care about Bryce. That's all I care about. I don't care what anybody else thinks. And, and he and I are going to stay locked in on that relationship and continue to grow. And I have, what his dad decides to do with his professional career is 100% his dad's choice. And, I don't think there's I know there's no pressure being put on Bryce, from that end. Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to watch, Bryce who, really, I think his biggest desire is just to be a normal kid and fit in with a group. So, my recommendation to all you guys and everybody in social media, let him fit in with this group. Let him be a normal person. Let him be a normal 18, 19-year-old kid. That's the greatest gift you can give him.
For the red blue itself, have you decided who's on what side yet?
No.
Are you leaving
No,
that
sorry,
up to-
Chris.
Are you leaving that up to your assistants? Or are they
We'll talk about it as a staff. Obviously we've been scrimmaging and doing things like that, and the red blue to me, I don't really get concerned about what the teams are, and I mean, I'm watching our guys scrimmage and practice every day. So for me, the red blue is obviously the first thing. It's a community celebration for our program. we know how much our program means to the community and the standing that Arizona basketball has and the legacy it has with Tucson. We know that. So this is a great opportunity for us to celebrate that with our fans. That's number one. Two, it just gets guys under the lights. It's funny, you could practice, you could talk about, making the right plays and doing all this thing and that. And then it's just funny how the first time you get under the lights, maybe one or two of those things goes out the window and you're like, well, maybe I'm half open here. I'm going to let this shot rip because if I make it, the crowd's going to go crazy. So you have to kind of experience those things with young players. And so it's a great opportunity to try to perform under the lights, in a day where we're going to celebrate our program and it kind of, serves as a good kickoff to the start of our journey.
Is your focus that night maybe going to be more on your DJ set later on?
Absolutely not. I have an unbelievable ability to compartmentalize. I mean, Tom E is a different guy than Tommy. So like these two, I don't even know if they've ever been in the same room. So.
Is that guy preparing for the performance somewhere else then, or how do you?
Bruce, I share no trade secrets.
At the beginning of this news conference, you made the comment, I think this team is built for the road that's ahead. But boy, when you look at this team, and you've got a senior point guard like Jalen Bradley, you've got these real star freshmen coming in like Penny, Aristotle, and Burries, and these giant bigs who are, studs with a Lockett and Mogritas. You've got to be cautiously optimistic at least,
Why would you put the word cautiously in front of optimistic?
Well, you do because you sounded like you didn't want to get too high over.
Well, I'm a coach. And if a coach tells you he thinks his team's built for the road ahead, knowing it's a hard road, he probably feels pretty good about his team. So, I mean, I'll let you guys, be the critics. I'm just going to be the coach. And I love this group. Our staff did an amazing job putting together a really talented team that makes sense to me. One of the things I really love about this program and this new era of NIL and transfer portal, this Arizona team you have here is the same Arizona team you would have had 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It's got a group of steady veterans. It's got some really talented, high-impact young players. That's Arizona basketball. I mean, that's what Arizona basketball with Coach Olson and Sean Miller did for years. And this team falls right in line with all those teams.
Maybe 29 years ago. I'm just kidding.
I'm not very good at math, so I wouldn't even know how to do it. So.
What about the schedule? Not just opening against Florida in Las Vegas, but the preseason schedule as a whole is a real challenging one. What's that going to do for the
Well,
team?
I mean, let's start with playing St. Mary's at home in front of fans. That's going to be the first time we play a 40-minute game. So we know how good St. Mary's is. I mean, no one knows more than me. How steady that program is, and they have high-level players and a high-level coach, and they're a team that plays well early in the year. So we know what challenge that's going to present. And then as you navigate the schedule, I mean, you have a mix of games, but your first game's Florida, your third game's UCLA, your fifth game's UConn. And you still got a murderer's row after that. So, we're excited. We're excited about that. And, we've played hard schedules before and it's worked out. We played a hard schedule last year. It didn't. So, let's see what this team, is made of and how they rise to that challenge.
What are the benefits of being able to schedule a team like St. Mary's for that exhibition game and having that competition before the season starts?
Well, if you're playing really high level games early in the year, I mean, you have to test your team, and challenge, and back in the day that would have probably been with like a secret scrimmage, but with, with revenue at a premium, I think if you could sell tickets to that game, I think that helps out the athletic department. So, that was our purpose there. And, there's part of you as a coach that wishes maybe it was behind closed doors so you could try a bunch of things and experiment with a bunch of things that you might not feel as comfortable doing in an open exhibition. But it's a decision we made, and I think it's the right one. So I'm looking forward to preparing for that, and looking forward. The most thing I'm looking forward to is learning after it.
So does that change anything in your preseason? What you're doing with the guys, being as it is only a couple weeks away, instead of playing at D2, you're playing a high level D1?
Not really. I mean, we're going to prepare the same way, and we're going to go, throw the ball up in the air and let it rip. A couple years ago, we would have done the same exact thing, but it would have been a secret scrimmage. So, I mean, in St. Mary's was the team we were playing a lot of those years. So there's no difference in how we're approaching, our preseason ramp up.
With Dwayne, we know about the injury in the past. He's been seen in public with the boot and all that.
Yeah. I think Dwayne has an NIL deal with that boot company. I'm looking for NIL go for this thing to be pushed through, and I won't be surprised if he has an NIL deal with that boot company.
He's cleared and all that. And
Yeah, listen, you guys know, we got a great trainer in J-Rock and Rounds and as our strength coach, and those guys do a great job, as does our entire, medical team here at the university. So, Dwayne's been a full participant in everything, and it's really, seems to be trending in the right direction as a player. So, he looks great to me. The boot thing, that's between him and the trainers. I don't know.
He just wears that precautionary because of what he went through?
I guess so. I guess so. It's just style, he's making a style statement.
How about, I noticed at the autograph thing the other day on the south side, CD had a knee wrap on or something. Are there any issues with him and that, or is he?
No, I mean, he's fine. CD's fine. I mean, he had a little bumper bruise. He'll be fine.
Everyone to be available Friday then?
I don't know about that. We'll find out about that. I mean, we're kind of got a couple more days of practice to go here before that. So, obviously we're gonna, make the best long-term decisions we can for each individual player. So, I mean, I don't think Friday's game impacts the win or loss column, does it?
No, but maybe Tommy's mood.
No. Tommy's mood's gonna be fine. You don't worry about that.
So along those lines, is there anybody else that's banged up right now you can share with us as far as that goes?
Nope. Nope. Per the Big 12, I don't have to make an injury deal until Big 12 games, right? So.
Conference games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something, 5 p.m.
Your thoughts on that, the availability report this season that the Big 12?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's crazy. I mean, why? I mean, it's just crazy how, impactful gambling is becoming this whole deal. And everyone's so scared of it, but no one's doing anything to remedy it. It seems like they're just, encouraging it more and more and more. So, I mean, obviously I don't know. I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody but myself, but I would assume that's the reason the conference made a push to do that, is just for that type of stuff. I don't know why we have to do it. And, it's crazy to me. We've had guys, get injured the night before, twist an ankle, and you go to bed and the next day they play, I don't know. So, yeah, we'll see.
One more thing about the Tom E thing. Is that did you make that up, or did somebody come to you in marketing or whatever, or how did you become that?
What's my name? My parents made it up 50 years ago. My parents were clairvoyant. They knew I would be a world-class DJ in my 50s. I'll have to check my birth certificate.
They said their almost pre-welcome to the Big 12 moment was when they went up against the experience and physicality of JB Tomei. How have you seen them adjust to that?
Great. Our young group is physically mature, and they're built for those battles. And we're a team that's always, wanted to be really physical, and it's an important part of what we do at both ends of the floor. So I feel like our guys are going to be up to the standard of the physicality that's required to be good, not only nationally but in our conference.
And speaking of the after DJ, after party, whatever you call it, you guys did it at Gentle Ben's, you're doing it here, got Shaq. How big is this in your mind of what you're trying to do with fans, recruits, et cetera?
Well, that's a great question, Bruce. And first off, I'm appreciative of the athletic department. I'm appreciative of the Dusk Boys, Paige and Johnny, for having the courage to do this. I'm going to be honest with you. I was just hoping we were going to get Mixmaster Mike and we could hang out again. And that would have been, if I was the only fan at the show, that'd be good for me. But when they told me they're bringing Shaq, and his son, I'm like, wow. I mean, they're really stepping up their game, and I think it's really cool. I mean, we obviously, one of the greatest things about our program is how it brings the community together. I have the good fortune of being a representative of Arizona basketball. So a lot of people come up to me and share their stories about Arizona basketball to me, and it's amazing. In this state, or basketball fans in general, everyone has a story about Arizona basketball that sits close to their heart. And so the more things we can continue to do to engage with the community, I think is a great thing. And we want our fans to participate in our journey and to be a part of it. And I want our fans 20 years from now to be telling the next head coach at Arizona how, there was moments, with some of these teams we have now or some of these events we're doing now that they still remember and they draw from, and that made them a fan of Arizona basketball, a passionate fan to the point where they had to participate. They had to stop their lives to watch us play. Last night, for example, we had a bunch of students from the Zona Zoo in here kind of working on a new routine. Pretty cool. On a random Tuesday night in it was late September yesterday, right? Yeah, working on their stuff. So, we want to do everything we can to make this a positive experience for everybody involved. And, I think even you're going to see at the Red-Blue game. Yeah, I mean, can you change the structure? Probably not a lot. Are there going to be a few surprises, of people at the game? Probably. So I think it's going to be an awesome night for Tucson, for the University of Arizona, and for the Arizona men's basketball program and Arizona athletics. And I hope you guys all come and participate and have a little fun.
Anything, at least on the court, you're doing different this time? I heard the women's team's going to shoot in three-point contest as well as your guys, or is there?
I kind of heard that too. I mean, I honestly haven't looked at the script. That's not my expertise, so I'll let the people putting on the event handle that. I might know about a few surprise type things, but I don't know how the general flow of the event is going to go.
You're always hitting those half-court shots or taking them. Would you enter one of them? Do you want to join the three-point contest or anything?
Do I want to join the three-point contest? So, Bruce, you might as well ask me, do I want to embarrass myself in front of 15,000 people? No. So those days are done. I'll stick to embarrassing myself as a DJ. I mean, I'll see if I can master that.
I'm just curious, we were talking about the schedule, your thoughts on Bruce Pearl retiring and what Auburn may have to deal with before they
Well,
retire.
listen, he retired at a point where, they have their team already. So, I'm assuming their roster is not going to change, from what he had. And, his son's been there for a number of years, and I know his son's been his right-hand guy. And I'm sure he's had a huge impact on the success they've had. So, I would expect Auburn to come out and be really spirited. You have a young head coach in his first year who's going to be eager to make his mark. So, I wouldn't expect a drop off at all. And as for Bruce Pearl, Coach Pearl is one of the great coaches and the great personalities in the history of college basketball. He's been great to me every interaction along the way. He was actually the one who reached out and initiated a call with me about doing this home and home. I mean, this was him. So, so I'm thankful for him for doing that, but I'm also thankful for, being able to watch his work over the course of his career and have been able to compete against him a few times. And, I have a sneaking suspicion that he'll find his way to Tucson that game, and I think it's in early December, right? Yeah. All right, guys, have a good one.